all the serious stuff. Now we're gonna close out the show with our last segment, and it's a really messed up segment this week, and that is what is up with these GD headlines, where I find a news story that has been in my news feed that is just a wonky news story, a crazy news story, a trippy news story, weird, whatever you want to call it. And this week smells a little funky, so get ready. Get ready. You might want to turn it off now, but you don't. You're gonna watch. You're gonna watch. I promise. You're gonna be saying, "What the hell?" So you're gonna watch. All right, so this new trend came into my news feed, and it's something else, y'all. I'm starting to really they keep saying that aliens are gonna, mothership's gonna come to, mothership's gonna come down any minute now, and it's gonna be crazy, and there's aliens, and it's like, we're getting like all these doses, but then all of a sudden something comes out and they're like, it was just a weather balloon, it was just this, and it's like, I'm really starting to think that aliens have not touched down and have not made contact with us because of shit like this that I'm about to read. So I've been seeing this in my feed. I've been seeing it, and I ignore it because I'm like, there's no way. Like, who? What? What? So this is from iflscience.com, and they're talking about a new trend that's been going around. You've been seeing it on TikTok. If you haven't been seeing it on TikTok, I'm proud of you. That means that you are not watching the type of videos that put this type of stuff in your algorithm. This popped up in my Facebook newsfeed. Of course, leave it to Meta to be pushing shit like this. And it is, what is vabbing, and does it really work? You're like, what's vabbing? That's what I said. I was like, what's vabbing? And it's a picture of this woman holding a strawberry. And it's just like this really weird picture. And there was not really a lot that said. So I was like, what is this? What can vabbing be that they're pairing it with this picture? And then I realized, I was like, oh, they're talking about vaginas. Okay. So this says there's a new pseudoscience craze sweeping the internet, and it involves, can I say this on YouTube? I'm not monetized anyways, so I don't have enough views to be monetized. They can be taking anything from me anyways. It involves inserting your fingers into your and then wiping them on your skin, all in the name of seduction. Ooh. So yeah, we all want to be sexier, right? So stick your fingers in your and wipe it on you. I don't want to keep saying this because I don't want to get in trouble. Known as vabbing, vabbing, the trend has been touted as a cheaper and more alluring alternative to perfume. But can smelling like a vagina really make you more attractive? I guess it depends on like who you ask, right? Because like, I got all this perfume. I got tons of perfume, right? And you got perfumes, like some people will be like, that smells so good, and then other people will be like, that stinks. Why you got that on? Stop. What is that? That's too much. I hate it. So like, wouldn't vabbing, wouldn't depending on like what your smells like, would the what, how, and who of vabbing. Vabbing has blown up recently thanks to a now deleted TikTok video. I'm not surprised. I'd have deleted that too. Posted by influencer Mandy Lee. Mandy, we coming for you and your vabbing technique, girl. Describing the technique, Lee recommends to you the use of 2 fingers. Not one. Girl wants 2. Doesn't matter which 2. And a relatively clean vagina. Relative. Not like squeaky clean, but relatively clean. So like, whatever you consider. I'm not even. And says that the best approach is to simply get up there, quote unquote. I'm internally screaming. before transferring the intimate secretions to exposed body parts like the wrist, neck, or behind the ears. Here's my thing. It's nasty. I'm not judging anybody, but come on. You need me to buy you some perfume? Your girl will buy you some perfume. Quote, I swear if you vab, you will attract people. Like a date, a one-night stand, or you'll just get free drinks all night. End quote. She says. Before revealing that she first heard about vabbing on the Secret Keepers Club podcast. Podcasts, man. Podcasts are there's just a lot of, some people just say, like, everybody thinks they need a podcast, and clearly not everybody needs a podcast. You know what I'm saying? Despite the removal of Lee's video, the craze has taken off on TikTok. Of course it has. Because TikTok, it has all the information. Even the information that doesn't need to be spreading. But that's okay. We need a platform that spreads all the information. All of it. Even vabbing. You just stay away from the information you don't want to see. Unless I'm bringing it to you. Surprise. With numerous other users taking to the platform to promote the sticky practice. Who's writing this? Who wrote this? Who wrote this? Is there a name on here? Yes. Oh, Ben Taub. Ben, the sticky practice, homeboy. Come on. Patricia's happy. It's fucking hilarious. Apologize. Okay. Oh my gosh. Elsewhere, sex educator and author Shan Boodram has written about the benefits of wearing fluids, which she says can serve as a love potion, especially if they are applied around the time of ovulation. These are crunchy moms that are doing this, huh? Almond moms, what are they called? Why vab? According to Boodram, secretions may contain chemical messengers known as copulins. These volatile fatty acids are known to stimulate sexual arousal in some male primates. So the assumption here is that by smearing oneself in hyani juice, women have a better chance of attracting a mate. I don't think I would want to attract those types of mates. Like, I literally feel like you would be attracting the dogs. All of them. The ones that are just out there ready to stick their nose in your booty and take a deep whiff. Like, that's not what you're trying to attract, Boodram. Like, I'm trying to attract sophisticated dudes who just aren't trying to run around smelling vabbing juice all over somebody's neck. This sounds like a good way to attract all the ones you don't want to stay away from. The ones that are like keeping their distance, go for those. More generally, the rationale behind vabbing centers around the idea of pheromones, which are chemical signs that some animals secrete in order to affect the behavior of other individuals of the same species. In some cases, pheromones are used to get members of the opposite sex in the mood for love, with arguably the most potent being a compound called bombicol, secreted by female silk moths. This sexy signal sends males wild with lust for some insect intercourse. Taking their cue from the animal kingdom, many perfume manufacturers use synthetic pheromones in their products, which they market as being capable of boosting the wearer's attractiveness. Vabbers, however, prefer to use their own brand, which they say is more effective. What does the science say? Oh, do tell. While it's well established that many species use pheromones for sex, you can't say that stuff on here, you get in trouble. There is no solid evidence to suggest that humans produce these chemical messengers or are capable of responding to them. That may be because the vast majority of pheromone research has been conducted on animals rather than people, although it's worth noting that a 2012 review of all human studies found that the evidence to support our use of these signals is weak. Weak sauce. Weak sauce. Your yoni juice is weak sauce. That's what science says. We're supposed to trust the science. So science says, stop putting your fingers in your vag and wiping it all over yourself. If y'all heard what Patricia was screaming in my head right now that I'm not letting out, I'd be canceled in a heartbeat. And I don't mean in like the trendy way of society. I mean, y'all would just be like, girl, shut your mouth. Having said that, some research has hinted at the possibility of natural body odors influencing our sexual allure. For example, one study involving more than 500 people found that participants' relationship satisfaction and desire to procreate was influenced by the nature of their partner's major histocompatibility complex called HLA in humans, which is a genetic compound or component of the immune system. Because molecules related to the HLA are released in saliva, sweat, and other bodily fluids, this finding could be interpreted that evidence that our liquid secretions have the power to get other people's juices flowing. Other research has shown that some women do produce copulence in their vaginal fluid, and that the concentration of these acids increases during the first half of the menstrual cycle before dropping after ovulation. In one study, men who were exposed to copulence rated both themselves and women as more sexually attractive, which is encouraging news for vabbers. However, to date, no human pheromones has been definitively identified, so it's a bit of a stretch to claim that vabbing sends men the way of the male silk moth. Okay. That's enough internet. That's enough internet for today. I do believe in the science of pheromones that humans secrete. I feel like there's vibing, right? There's this chemistry, energy of transfers that humans do put off. You know, you do hear people talking about like the smell of this person or that person being a turn on. I've heard conversations. I've heard people talking about how they like the smell of this or that, you know. And I think that that's totally fine. You know, human nature is human nature. We all put off scents and things that are meant to continue the production of our race and influence things necessary to do that. I still don't think you should be sticking like your vajiji is not Bath and Body Works, okay? That's not Love Spell up in there. Keep your fingers out of it. Stop wiping yourself all over your body. Like, get some warm vanilla sugar or some cucumber melon. What's wrong? I'm not talking shit about anybody, okay? If you want to do that, if you want to walk around rubbing your hoochie coochie juice all over yourself to attract some dude, I mean, whatever you feel like you got to do to get those relationships going. That's going to be it for what's with these GD headlines. I apologize, but also I'm not sorry. If I had to read it, so did you. Okay. So